11 million people are in lockdown, but don't worry because mortgage holidays are back. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. We're going to have a talk about, well, the fact that mortgage holidays have made a return. Now, we've discussed these last year and what, well, stood out to me enough to be burned into my memory was a story of a professional couple. Of course, they were living in Sydney. And they were so thankful to the banks for giving them a mortgage holiday because they couldn't get by otherwise. And that's when, I'm seeing a lot of people don't have reserves, or apparently, if you believe that story, don't have the money set aside. So we're getting a few mixed messages. But before we have a look at this and before we have a talk about it, I want to draw attention to, well, the Twitch show that Rachel and I are having tonight. I'll just bring this up here. Tonight, it's going to be going back to school. We wanted to talk about distance education, homeschooling, and comparing and contrasting this type of education to more traditional day schools from the perspective of a parent and the fact that we sent one of our children to do a term at day school. So if you've never considered it, or if you've had a taste for homeschooling or distance ed during the lockdowns and you thought maybe we should give that a real shot, come along, ask your questions, only on Twitch. So what's going on here, everyone? First, let's start by talking about the government coming to the rescue to set the scene. And I want to draw attention to two things. One which scares me more than the other, and let's see if you can guess which one it is that scares me. We've got JobKeeper. So the 31st of October, this is showing you the percentages of people, employed people in each state that were supported by JobKeeper. If I did another map where I added all the civil servants in each state, I should put that in my slide deck. I think it's like 30% in some states. It's too depressing to see. But you can see here nearly 9% of the work of the people employed in Victoria were being supported by JobKeeper. Some of them needed it, some of them didn't. I suspect this was done to minimize the impact on Centrelink. And, well, because the government stopped people from working, that's what they have to do. They've got a duty of care to those people. The question should be, is it worth it? Because nothing is free, everyone. We've got to remember this huge amount of government debt that Canberra and the states are piling on for us. At $1.3 trillion, everyone. We can't forget that. We have to remind ourselves that all of these freebies and goodies the government are giving out, people are going to have to work down in the future. That's all money is. It's work that we have to do one way or another. And then there's another aspect of, well, concern or coming to the rescue. And this was the change to insolvency rules. Companies could trade while insolvent. Normally you've got a certain time period that you can try to wind up a company, and it's a good way to threaten a director who's not paying you. Now, as a small business person, this is the one that really scared me the most. Probably because, well, anyone in the construction games knows what it's like not getting paid on time or people dragging stuff out. Sure, there can be a bit of give and take, and you understand that. A phone call saying, I need another month, haven't got this payment in a business relationship, that can happen. That's different to people taking your work when they're knowingly insolvent and probably, getting you to do work for them and not paying you. As an architect, it's fine in some regards because my costs are software, time, office. I'd hate to be a subby building stuff into a building. So you can see here, look at how that's declined. That graph going down, during our first recession we've had in 28 years, everyone. And we'll have to see when the latest data comes out, the next quarterly data comes out. And just a reminder, this was the recession that we had. You can see those 2-quarter falls right there. And, well, it's growing right back up. So the government has come to the rescue. And because of that, we've seen, and I'll bring this up here, among other things, mortgage holidays and deferrals. And this is where, APRA was measuring the extent of these billions of dollars of holidays that people were getting. Nearly 10% of all loans, over $250 billion everyone. And let's have a look at, I'll just bring this up here. Let's have a look at now mortgage holidays are coming back. And, well, the mortgage holidays, this is from the Australian Banking Association. This is the organisation that's, well, referenced in this article. And we have to understand they're a business association and a lobbying group. And the question I put to you with regards to anything we're seeing that's from the ABA, featuring the ABA, is it in a light to paint a positive view of the banks? Is this a bit of marketing? That's just the skeptical side of me that we need to look at. Because honestly, this may shock you, but the banks aren't our friends, everyone. You have to have a quiet talk with a few mortgage brokers. Get a few beers into them on a night out. If you're in a business networking group, get the mortgage broker pissed and hear all the stories I'm sure they could tell you about how the banks have just done one over on their customers. But, we'll see. We'll see. So Commonwealth Bank, NAB, ANZ, Westpac roll out home loan deferrals once again. Australia's major banks have begun rolling out home loan deferral programs as large swaths of the country enter COVID-19 lockdowns. It's 2021 now. How long is this going to keep going? Wasn't it just all for 2 weeks? I think it was for 2 weeks. More than 11 million Australians are now unable to lock down conditions or are in lockdown conditions. Many unable to leave their local government areas to work. The Australian Banking Association CEO, Anna Bligh, the former Premier here of Queensland, teacher, on Saturday said customers should be confident that their banks have their backs. They've got your backs, guys. Today's announcement in New South Wales means more businesses, construction workers and tradies will be unable to work in the coming weeks. If they are struggling financially, the best thing they can do is call their bank, Bligh said. She said the ABA's package of assistance, first announced on the 8th of July, will help customers and urge them not to tough it out on their own. So Yahoo Finance breaks down what each major bank is offering home loan customers. I mean, have you had to resort to this? Have you taken advantage of it? I mean, if you need to, don't feel ashamed to take advantage of it, everyone. My concern is that we're locking down the economy so often and so much now. None of this is without consequence. None of this is without cost. I know there's some people talking and scared about bail-ins. I can't see that happening. Honestly, the government's just going to be handing out money left, right and centre before they let the banks bail in. I just can't see it happening. Not here in Australia. I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid of our money becoming completely worthless. I'm afraid Mortgage Keeper turning from a bloody joke I've made on my channel into something real. CommBank CEO Matt Comyn on Saturday announced the bank's expanded measures for home loan customers include 2-month mortgage repayment deferrals. I mean, this is the thing. It's a deferral. It's not a forgiveness. You're just paying it back at the end anyway. You're screwed either way. As of Monday, customers, particularly those in the Fairfield, Canterbury, Bankstown and Liverpool LGAs will be able to access the deferrals. I mean, wouldn't you be a bit salty if you've lost your home, you've been screwed over by the banks in the past, and none of this was there? What about all the people that the recession Australia had to have when interest rates were at insane levels, that struggled to keep their house? How salty would they be feeling? No wonder they think, you millennials are all a bunch of softies. Well, we can't even do our recessions right, can we, guys? Even our recessions are bloody cotton wool bloody recessions. Come on. Back in my day, recessions were tough. Businesses actually closed. I want to assure all of our customers across Australia who are today facing tighter rate restrictions that support is available right now, he said. Australians have responded well to the pandemic over the last 18 months. 18 months. And we will do so again as we face this new phase of restrictions. Customers voluntarily making higher repayments can also reduce their repayments to the minimum level, while others can access money in their everyday offset account, access money available in redraw accounts, and switch to flexible rate loans. Yeah, well, people should already know all of that. One thing I used to do is I would always pay extra And then I would reduce my minimum payment. So I just get more and more and more to try and get that minimum down. Just one strategy if you're tackling your home loan, just go micropayments, $5 here, $10 here, not getting that coffee, not getting that lunch. Think about it. Then every little, purchase that you just piss away, you start putting it off your mortgage, and you'll see, wait a minute, all those coffees I've been having, not going to the 7-Eleven coffee shop like Florian suggested, going to a posh one and spending $4 a coffee, that adds up to like $50 a week off the mortgage. NAB deferrals on a month-by-month basis. NAB will offer home loan customers mortgage repayment deferrals on a monthly basis. This is usually offered for up to 3 months. It is also offering temporary reduced payments and restructured loans and access to redraw facility and offset accounts. The measures announced today by the New South Wales government, along with the lockdown in Victoria, are tough, but they are necessary to protect the community, NAB CEO Ross McEwen said on Saturday. Now, my concern is that all the banks are going lockstep in this with the ABA. And if you see some of the rhetoric coming from the banks, how they won't fund particular projects, coal mines. Just look at the anti-male bias coming out of ANZ CEO. I've got a video I did on the channel here a couple of years ago. Some of the stuff they were saying, the sexist garbage. Can you see them all going into lockstep for other things? Maybe climate change or, stifling political dissent or misinformation, as the White House is saying now, banning everyone from social media and from the banks. Florian, you're talking crazy. That's crazy. It's never going to happen. You think? Let's hope I'm just talking crazy. It's my imagination. We know every situation is different, and our business bankers are checking in with customers to see how they are doing and what help they might need for their situation. He urged Australians to get vaccinated, describing it as the only way out of repeated lockdowns. There you go. Do you want your bank? See, this is the thing. I think a lot of the hesitancy that Australians are going to have, even if that disappears, if people aren't scared of the potential health risks, which when you look at the actual probability of it, there's other things people do that are much greater risk. But I think it's your bank CEO telling you what to do is going to arc people's backs up, and they're going to go, get stuffed, mate. No chance. I think there's still enough true Australians like that are just going to be pains in the arse. What do you reckon, everyone? Do you think? Or is that Australian, trait? Is that completely gone now? Has it been bred out? Westpac deferrals on a month-by-month basis. Westpac is offering reduced interest rates, loan term extensions, restructured debt arrangements, and monthly mortgage repayment deferrals. We recognise many of our customers need assistance following the increased lockdowns across Australia. We want customers to know there are a broad range of options to help businesses and individuals through this challenging period, CEO Peter King said. We're reminding customers that if they are facing financial difficulties, call us early so we can work through the most appropriate, tailored options to support them, including repayment deferrals on home and business loans for up to 3 months. How about giving your customers the same interest rate that the Reserve Bank gives everyone? That'd be great. ANZ, short-term payment relief. ANZ's support for customers affected by New South Wales and Victoria's lockdown includes offers for customers to restructure home loan debt or switch to fixed-rate loans. It's also offering to waive certain fees and short-term payment relief. We know this lockdown will have a big impact on our customers in and around Sydney, like the lockdowns we've seen in other states. We know it can be some time before the real effects are felt by families and businesses. ANZ Group, Executive Retail and Commercial Banking Mark Hand said in late June. We want our customers to know there is help available if they need it in this difficult time. Our teams are standing ready to assist and will work with customers to understand their specific needs and help tailor individual solutions. So there you go, everyone. What do you think? Bit of propaganda for the ABA, the Australian Banking Association. Do you think their interests align with ours? Or are you concerned that the lockstep behavior of these banks and the potential risk that it could pose to our freedoms and liberties in the future? I'm sure it's just, I'm being, I'm just imagining things. It must be all the media and news I'm consuming. I'm sure it'll all be perfectly fine. Anyway, guys, what is the solution to all of this? Well, increase financial literacy, reduce our dependency on the banks. That's the only way we can do it, step by step. What do you reckon? Do you think it's possible? Prepare a future generation with the aspiration and goals of being financially independent. Get the next generation with the FIRE movement going. So at the very least, they don't need to be kissing the boots of the bank and thanking them so much for letting them, skip on payments. And don't worry, you'll pay that interest later. What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below, everyone. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can use SelfWealth or Stake, buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.